This is Rod Kusin, Spoon for Risk on November 3rd, 2016. A recap of today's activities with the threshold indicators. Have to apologize. We made an excellent live video for you earlier today, and for some reason or another the audio was not properly connected, the microphone wasn't on, and so there was no audio. But we had a lot to say. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to recap that today. So this will be a much more brief video than the previous one. So let's get started. A part of our discussion today will have to do with reading the trend. That's been a big subject for some of our traders. Are interested in knowing how to read the trend from the premium, and you can do that, but you got to understand the process. Now, the premium was absolutely essential today if you were going to trade this day successfully. There was so much volatility. It was very difficult to know where this market was headed, particularly in the first roughly hour of trading. Now, you've got real nice divergence developed right there at the top. Okay, and you can see the OB here on the premium of the ES as well as on the premium of the YM. Now the ticky was also to some extent divergent compared to this previous bar here. But you get a nice OP situation there, overbought on the premium, and down she comes. Now what really became real interesting is after this low, and I'm only going to be having time to hit the highlights here. And we started having these big swings. Okay, these big swings. Now, this situation right in here called for a long trade, because you could just see the divergence here. Nice divergence had developed on the ticky as well as on the YM, but not so much on the ES. So you had to be careful there. But as we were still below this original OB level here, and we moved up to this point, we came down just a smidgen in the premium at that high, and down she came, and it came down quickly, and then you were divergent again here, and up she went again. But now the real big picture was right here. Right here. At the end of the first hour of trading, notice the drop in the premium. Higher high here compared to this. Much lower high here compared with that. There's the big divergence. However, look at what happened on the YM. Okay? The YM was not divergent. Okay? We're comparing this to this. Okay? This to this. No divergence there. So, what did that spell? This made it plain that the YM was going to come back and test this level again. So in spite of the fact that you have big divergence here, and correspondingly a good reason to short this, you had to be watching that, because notice what happens. It comes right back up. Now, as it does, okay, right into this point here, notice what the premium is telling you. Now, right in here, let's recap this. Here we've got the divergence on the ES. But if you didn't have the YM premium shown, you would have expected that this would probably continue to drop. But you already had good heads up. This is coming back, and come back it did. There was the premium, the YM associated with that high on the premium naked bar. Here it is being tested, and even here once more. And finally, you get this big divergence, and the drop takes place. But all the way down, and we were pointing this out live, and I was so excited about this. I said, okay, you could not trade this accurately without knowing the premium. The premium hit a new low here. Okay, that's a naked bar, and then another naked bar here, and that's even lower, but it's the same price. This was at 94. This also was at 94. It was predicting a return to 94, and then we ran out of time and had to get on with other things. But nevertheless, as the Spoos moved back up, you have this other beautiful opportunity to short this thing, and now you get divergence everywhere. You get divergence on the ES, you get divergence on the ticket, you get divergence on the YM, and boom, you can take this down. But as it comes down, it doesn't go all the way down to 94. It goes to 94.25. And then you're beginning to think, well, now what in the world here? This thing is going long. No, 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 no. No, the premium is accurate. The premium doesn't lie. It's coming back. Okay? And that's where we had to run off and take care of some other issues, and we're unable to show you the rest of this until slightly thereafter. But we pointed out, premium does not lie. This is coming back, and no sooner than it touches this upper value area, that it finally comes right back down. Oh, but look, it comes down to 94.25, and you're thinking, okay, this is as far as it's going. No, it's not. This was the predictor. Yes, there's divergence there, but you cannot ignore what this told you here. Boom, and there it went, and that was the big move. Things really started to happen then. Now let's just take a look at a few other beautiful opportunities for trading on this particular day. Let's move forward. Now, as the premium showed this divergence here, you can see the divergence here as well as on the YM. And we come down and we become divergent, but only relatively speaking. See how the premium is dropping here, and then here, and then here. Now, yes, you're divergent here, but these first bars are very, very important. The overall trend is down. And this level, all right, is clearly lower than the other two levels, as it should be. Okay, because why? Well, this is a lower price, and this should be at a lower premium as well. Okay, but the lows of the premium on the first strike of that price are considerably lower. They're much lower than they were over here, even though you're at a higher low here. So there's your trend. Your trend is down. So what do you want to do? You want to short this thing. Now, maybe you can't tell precisely where to do that. But every time you become significantly divergent here, you see where the premium goes. Okay? So, this is a little difficult to call just where to short this thing. But up here at this descending upper value area is generally a pretty good place to do that. But now look at what happens here. We come to this point, and instead we're stepping up 504, 501, 450, 485, 476. Okay, this is all stepping out. While this is going up, the lows are coming down again. All right, as they should be. So we come to this point and we hit a new high here. Now you knew you should not be shorting it just yet because this is stepping up. Only here does the premium step down. It doesn't need to step down a great deal, but it should step down if it's divergent. We're a little bit higher. And so this move doesn't need to be real big. The move down, the divergence, doesn't have to be real big here. But it should be less. Now on the YM, it's significant. 79 here versus 82 here. So now you want to short this. And you're glad you did, because it starts to really drop. Now let's look at some things that the premium also told us as the day moved forward. Now watch once again. Come down to this low. We get this divergence. That's enough to kick this up a bit. And we come to this divergent point here. Now that's not substantially divergent. That really doesn't mean much. Let me explain why. This is a lower high compared to over here where we read the premium previously. We should be lower. Okay? Naturally, we should be lower. So there's really nothing divergent about this. This is a lower price compared to what it is here. So of course you should be lower on the premium. So that doesn't really tell you anything. Okay? And this premium is moving up. Now that's telling you something. Market should be moving up. And it does. Now, as that happens, look at this compared to this compared to this. Premium is going higher, as it should be. Now we come to this point here. We should be at least up here. We're not. We're now divergent. Now is where you take the short. And down you go. Now, is there anything predictive on the way down? A little hard to say. Nothing much going on here. You've just got this low projected low value area down in here. All right. Now, this is a little bit off in here. This is a little bit off because we've got a little higher reading on the premium here, but you've got a much lower reading on, well, not real substantial, but you've got a lower reading here on the YM. So you can't really read too much into that, but you should have shorted it up here. And if you're waiting over here, now you're going to get a little confused. Because naturally, you've got a lower price on the premium here, as it should be. You've got a higher price here that shouldn't be. So that could have been a little bit confusing unless you look down here and notice the divergence. And then we begin to drop. And you can see how the premium is really starting to drop, and drop it does. It makes a fairly substantial move down. Okay? Now, right in there again, we get a little bit of a step up on the ticky. Nothing really showing. Make sure this is lining up right. Okay. YM premium is moving down. and the ES is also, ES premium is also down, but not as low as you would expect it to be. Expect it to be lower than it is here. All right, let's just pick this up a little bit later here. Let's just take a look at the movement here. You've got a nice divergence there. And so down we're moving. We hit a new low on the premium. Market's going to continue to move. Now you're in this position right in here where you're expecting that this divergence on the ES, a divergence on the ticky, could turn this thing, and going long here is reasonable. It's a reasonable expectation to go long based on the premium. Whether or not that's going to work or not is very much dependent upon what happens next with the premium, and you find out right here that if you went long, you don't want to hold that because this is still moving down, and you know that because of this bar here, this compared to this. All right, higher, low, lower low here. We're still moving down. And now you come to this point here. Okay? And you see a fair amount of divergence on the ticky here. Not much to go on right in here. You are at a lower low, and compared to this level here, you are higher, and that's enough to move this up. And then we come to this point right in here. This is a little bit of an issue, okay? Because you're only slightly higher on the premium here. Now you're certainly not above this yellow line. This is 89.25, 85.5. Okay. You're slightly divergent here, but only to the extent that you are divergent from these spikes up. This could confuse you because you would have expected the premium to be lower. Now, on the next bar, that is where it occurs. But on the pivot bar, it's a little higher. Yet it is lower than these other spikes up. And you had to take that into consideration in knowing whether or not this was about to come down. But come down, it does. And it's a pretty nice drop that takes place in here. And you can see that on this next bar. And then once again, you get into this divergent situation. Now you've got an oversold condition there. And the inclination may have been to go long. But even if you did, okay, even if you went long here, right in there at the low, all right, you see that we've stepped down again. This was enough to move that. But this moved back down here, all right? Same price as it was over here. But now you're at a lower low. So any reaction here is premature. This move up, right in here, is going to be met with resistance and a divergence, more than likely, as it moves up into this descending lower value area. So as you move up here, you look at this price here, you're at a new high. It starts to come down, you look at the premium, and you're saying, okay, how do I read this? We're at a higher high, okay, and it looks like we're at a higher high on the premium. To some extent, that's true, But what you really need to measure this against is right in here. Okay? That's what you really need to measure this against. Because this line here is really taking you back all the way to here. And we were at 90.75. Okay? Now, we're at 89 here. So yes, this is higher. And the indication is, looks like we're still moving up. And there could be a basis for presuming that if it wasn't for the fact that we dropped so low right in here, all right, that kind of changed everything. Now we became divergent there, but this was somewhat of that was a bad omen, if you will, for what was about to occur. And you've got a real naked bar situation on the YM, where we dropped to 87. And we haven't been that low for quite a while. So if there was any doubt, as we come back here and we start to test that area, we see how the premium is dropping here. Now we run up again here, but now this is lower than that. Okay, and it's enough. There's enough divergence there to bring this down. And again, we're comparing against this bar, and now we're stepping down. Now this is granted. This is a lower high. It's 87 3/4 in both places. It should be a little lower than this. But this could have been a little bit hard to read, and you didn't have any help on the ticky either. But the ticky should actually be higher, and it isn't. So you got sort of a reverse type of divergence here. The ticky should be higher. It's failing to go any higher as this market moved up. So down you come again. Now it's important to watch what's happening as we drop. Okay? Now look closely. Market comes down, you've got a new, comparatively new low on the premium here. It's a little lower than it was here. So you expect this to come down, and then the premium all of a sudden steps up here. But before that occurs, notice the step up in the premium here. Now, we know something's not right here, because now we're down at 88. Over here, we were at 88.75. Over here, we were at 89. $472 here, $465 here. This is going up, or at least it's going to test that. So right now, any short has got a pop, is possibly in danger. So you've got to watch this carefully. Watch the premium. Now, this was the threshold, 465, right here. You're tagging that price. 88, 88, 88. Okay, remember that was 88 over here. So, if we're going to continue to go up, we've got to get through that level. And what's happening? It's not going up. In fact, it's dropping. And then right there, we see how this has dropped pretty significantly. The ticky is dropping. No particular help there on the YM. Nothing significant there, at least. But this is going to come down. Okay? Now, let's continue to watch this. Now, look at this price here, 86.50 and 86.25. Slightly lower price on the premium compared to here. It should be lower, but this is a little lower than you would expect it. Okay, this is a little bit lower here than you would expect it to be. So that kind of suggests, all right, this is likely going to continue on down. And then we come to, let's see here. All right, there it is. 86.25, 86.25. And where's the premium? Premium is stepped up once again. So you got some volatility in here. The lows of the premium are what you've really got to be paying attention here to. And the lows are divergent. This market's going to go up. No help yet. Got a little gap in there. That's tested. And we continue to move up. See the descending low value area? Now, if this is going to continue to move up, you've got to get higher highs on the premium and higher lows on the premium. That's not what you've got here. Okay? That's kind of a heads up. And then as you move up again, the premium drops. You got a higher high here, as you should, but you shouldn't have a lower low. So that's your heads up that whatever is happening next, when that becomes divergent, you want to short that. And it becomes divergent right there. At least that's the first time it becomes divergent. But right there is where you want to short this. And down she goes. Now, let's just look at a couple of more opportunities. Now, this was a, that's really that's where it should be. Okay, so we come down, we hit the this projected low on the ES, and this threshold compared to this threshold, we're still moving down, but there is some divergence here. Look at this low here compared to this low here. There is some divergence there. That's going to kick this up a little bit. Okay, and up it goes. Right? It's not really moving higher. And so now we come down to this low at 86. Okay, this low at 86. We're at a lower low. So there is some divergence compared to these other spike downs. But overall, we're still moving down. So yes, this could kick it up again, but we're still moving down. And now we come to this point, 86 again, 86 again, 86 again. And what do you see happening to the premium? All right. Here, compared to here, compared to here. See how the premium is stepping up? Now nothing's happening on the upside here. Nothing's really happening on the upside. But the lows are stepping up. You're oversold here by quite a bit. And this is gonna kick off a move upward. This is gonna be more significant. Because again, just check out what's happening here. 86. You keep on hitting 86, 86, 86 in here. And the premium is steadily moving higher. It's going to kick this up. So here, there's maybe another opportunity to just take a long trade briefly. Because the overall pattern is down. This is not the time for the low of the day. It just isn't the time. This is a red day pattern down. The low is not yet. The low has not yet occurred. All right, you got to know your patterns. This is a red day down. The lows should be in the last half hour of the day. The highs, okay, was in the first half hour. The low should be in the last half hour. The highs was about, I think, let's just look. Okay, let's go back all the way to the beginning of the day to point out precisely where that high was. All right, so high occurs 10 minutes. 10 minutes from the open. So perfect symmetry on a red day pattern would put the lows somewhere around 240 to 245 if it's perfectly symmetric. Let's go back to our point. Okay, so now, we've got this threshold here, right there, that moved up. We go higher still. We're a little bit divergent, but we're moving up. Okay? And then at this point, as you can see, we move down. So there's your high, right there. Now you short it again, and down we come. Now, little step up, kicks this up again. Step down, kicks it down again. But you've got to know your pattern at this point. Your pattern implies that the lows are going to be an hour from now. And so while you watch the premium, and this is moving up a little bit, okay, right in here, okay, that's moving up a little bit. Here to here, here to here, okay. This is going to go up a little bit. Ooh, but now look at what happened. Okay. Shoots up, you know that's gonna, it's got to go up a little bit. And then you're back to being divergent again. Yet, at the same time, now, if you look at this high on the premium here, we are higher even at this, in this divergence, we are higher than we have been in the last 45 minutes at least. Okay, certainly we're higher here than we were back here. And back here we were at 90. And here we're at, what is that, 80, 88 and a quarter. All right. So, there's a good chance that that price is going to get tested. So if you were to short this, or if you are in a short, now you got to watch very carefully as the market moves down, whether or not this thing is going to get ready to come right back up. Okay, so let's see here. That's going to get tested. All right. You got some divergence there. Okay. You got a divergent pattern here as well. Not much going on. Now you got this good sized bar down here. You're, no, actually you're not. You're testing 88.25 and you, oh, see the OS forming right there? Your diversion. Now this is going to go right back up. It's going to go right back up. And your price 88.25 here is a potential target. And she comes back down. Okay, this is stepping up. Okay, so we're right in here, 87.75, 88.25. First move up here is higher. We should go at least another tick higher. We should take this to 88. There's your 88. Now you're divergent. Boom. Short it. Well, goes back up, but even better short right in here. And then down she comes again. Now, we cut off the premium threshold indicator right here. We can continue that on, but just look at the raw data. What does that tell you? Okay, you're down at 85. You get this big spike down in the premium. What's that tell you? This is coming down, and you're not even in the last half hour, so don't even think about going long here. And now you're even lower. Okay. Whoa, right off the chart. Now, even if you didn't have an indicator, what about right in here? Okay. Oops. Let's move that back up. Look at this spike down here. Another spike down here. What's happening to the premium? You're at 81.25. Look at the premium. look at the lows. Are you divergent? And the answer is yes. You're divergent here. It's just into 830. Excuse me, into 830. It's just into the last half hour. Okay. Now, where's the premium? Premium is down here at 593. Now we could put our indicator on here, but just look at the raw data. Now this is a little bit lower than this is lower than this, as it should be, but it's higher than this. And it shouldn't be. That's a divergence. But look at what's happening to the highs. We're not done. The highs of the premium are dropping. This is going to come down. Now, when it does, and we test this price again, now look at where the premium is. We're much higher. This is going back up. Well, whoops. Pardon me. All right. It did go up. But it didn't go up enough. And in fact, on that bar, that last bar, we were right there. Come on, line up. Now we're divergent again, and this comes back down. And we get another drop right in there. All right. This takes us down to 81. 81 and a quarter here. Lower low on the premium. This isn't over yet. So down we come again. Now we come to this point. Right in here. We're now at 79.75. Where's the premium? Way up here. There's your divergence. Big divergence here. Okay? Big divergence right in here. Now you've got to look at the rest of this. See how the YM premium down here is still, it's actually a naked bar right down there on the YM. So that could result in the YM testing that price. So let's just bring the rest of the screen in, and you can see that's exactly what happens. So the YM comes down, gives you a naked bar, and we come over here and we test it again, and now there's a fairly substantial divergence, and up we go. All right, up we go. So there you have it. Once again, premium doesn't lie. We get a nice spike up here, biggest bar in the last hour, and the market begins to take off. And when is the low? 15 minutes before the close. First of all, tested it right here. That's almost perfect symmetry to when the high of the day was. Almost perfect symmetry. And then we test it there, up we go. Pretty interesting. Come take a demo. Learn how to do this. Use our indicator. There's nothing like it anywhere. I'm RSKsys Intl, Spoon for Risk.